Hey there folks, Glenn with the Cactus Atlas, standing in front of an old home in the town of Escalante that we pondered a ways back. I've returned to hit an off-road route. Ready to do it? Let's go. I don't know if you guys remember this old home, but we pondered it and I said a few words about it in an old video when I came to this little local store to get coffee. And I'm gonna do that again now, and there was a dog here that I adored. So I'm actually here more for the dog than the coffee, although the coffee's good too. And I'm gonna take a moment to plug this little store. It's kind of a specialty grocery store here in Escalante. I don't think it's considered the main grocery store, which is down the road, but I like this one, so I can recommend it. They have smoothies, coffee, like a little bakery thing in there, and foods. This is the store. I don't think my doggy's here though. It's just a really nice grocery store with like lots of fresh ingredients, which can be hard to find out here. I'd say a little fancier than the average here. Specialty. Where's my puppy? A little saddened. I went in and asked about my little dog, and the dog's here somewhere. I think the dog must be sleeping, but I asked what kind it was, and I think one of the viewers commented and got it right. It's a German sharp-haired pointer, so I think that's what I want. So, awesome dog, but we gotta move on. Standing right off of Highway 12 here, the All-American Highway in Utah. Scenic drive that we've done. We've explored many sections of it, and I told you a few episodes back that we were going to come back and check out this hole-in-the-rock road. A dirt road that, well, eventually a dirt road, I think, that's rated a 1 out of 10 on Onyx, so it's rated as easy as it gets. We'll see about that. There might be some offshoots that I end up doing that are a little bit rougher back there, but basically we're going to take a casual drive down there. I've got multiple points of interest marked on a map. Actually, Amy threw some pins on Onyx for me, created a spreadsheet describing different options of things to do back there. And I don't really know what I'm gonna go do, how far I'm gonna go, if I'm gonna take it all the way down to the Colorado River. Because it's about 56 miles one way, but I think it's doable. I did a 125-mile route a couple days ago, looping the fold inside of Capitol Reef, so I imagine we might. But basically, I'll describe the story here, but I think this is actually a good picture to maybe put in our minds of what lies at the end and what there is to talk about. Here we are at the start of the hole-in-the-rock road, right at the All-American Highway 12. I've already seen several cars go down here, 2 of them being passenger cars, so we'll explore. I see some spurs that we could take that definitely seem not passenger car friendly, but we'll explore more when we get there. But I'm expecting a relatively easygoing graded road like this much of the way, but we'll see. Onyx off-road, like I said, 1 out of 10, as easy as it gets. This, to me, for off-pavement driving, exactly fits a 1 out of 10 for my definition. So to get acquainted with this, along this route are some interesting stops. You've got some slot canyons, which, if time is on my side today, I'll probably, I might attempt to hike one, but do a separate video on that. Or 2 of them, I should say. A lot of you probably know what they are. And then outside of it too, there's other random stops, geological features, some history back here. Mainly some interesting geology I'm hoping for. Hopefully good views. And at the very end, should we choose to accept the mission and go all the way down, I believe, to the Colorado River. I don't think it's a San Juan, is it? I'd already forget where we're gonna hit, but that's really where the name of this road gets its name, and we read about it at the front of this, is it dates back to the 1870s when the Mormon church ordered a bunch of Mormons from Cedar City, Utah, not terribly far from here, to pack up their wagons, all their belongings, and go settle these areas down by the San Juan River. But the challenge, trying to move that much, in wagons across this kind of terrain is eventually you're going to run into either a land feature, like a reef, that might block your progress. You can't pass through it, or a river. And in this case, I think you got a combination of a rock blocking away as well as a pass down to a river. So my understanding is the Mormon pioneers came down here and blasted and created like a hole through the rock to get down by the river to allow wagons to go down there. So something along those lines is what I read. So some Brigham Young era Mormon history down this way. Only other intel I got was at the Red Canyon Visitor Center. I kind of struck up a conversation with a lady working in there. If you've been in that visitor center, it's a pretty robust visitor center for a Forest Service. It's like a gift shop, and they've got a lot of great information in there. And the lady that I talked to, we talked about this for a while, and she was telling me about the excursion she made down here with her husband. And she says when you get towards the end, they had a Chevy Silverado. So if you're not familiar with trucks, Silverado, I got a Colorado. Silverado's a much bigger truck, like a much wider truck. So for folks driving things like that, you know, narrow roads and stuff become a concern sooner than they become a concern for me. So she made it sound like it might be a little bit hairy down there, at least for the Silverado. But we'll see. One thing I like about the road is it's very coffee friendly. It's not like we're going around and up and down and side to side trying to drink this. I said this is a very nice, relaxing, what would qualify as one of those nice Sunday drives. Which, with all the stuff I've been up to and all, this is kind of welcome. I've been tired. If you've been following some of our other episodes, running out of steam on these long trips that I'm taking. So, and the off-roading adventures are oftentimes among the most, I would say, fatiguing, even more than hiking and stuff sometimes, because sometimes they're all-day affairs. You know, 8 hours of boom, you know. It's a different kind of fatigue. You would think it would be easy just sitting here, but sometimes it's not. I see one of Amy's pins appearing on my map for the Zebra Slot Canyon. I did not study on the Zebra Slot Canyon. It's not the slot canyon or canyons that I would choose to do first out here based on my readings. And there are a couple out here that I know some of you know about, Peekaboo and Spooky. And that is on my possible itinerary today. I plan on maybe getting this done first, and if we are going to drive all the way down to Hole in a Rock, overshoot where that would be, finish this video, then maybe turn around and then do that. Looks like I got about 6 miles of hiking to do if I want to do that one. And I have a feeling it's going to be straight in the middle of the day when it's time to do that, which I think is doable. I think I can manage it, especially since a lot of it's going to be in a dark, in a tight canyon, slot canyon, canyons, apparently, where sometimes you only have enough room, like I could barely squeeze through a couple spots apparently. So we'll see about that fat man squeeze today. I think I am gonna opt to take one of Amy's spurs to one of our first features, mainly because I'm just making really good time on this road. So I mean, if I just kept driving, I don't think it would take us much time to just get to the end. So to ensure that we've got subject matter for the video, which I think there's plenty up ahead too, but I'm gonna take this first road. There should be a left turn up here, and according to Onyx, this route is short, but it's a 3 out of 10. In fact, well, we'll just see. You know, 3 out of 10, that could mean anything, basically. That could mean you're gonna damage your truck to not. And there's a feature here that probably is on the sign that we're gonna see called the Cosmic Ashtray. I just thought with a name like that, the Cosmic Ashtray, how could you not do that? But anyway, you could see just kind of a rocky road. I mean, we'll see. Plenty of time for things to go sideways. have Amy's spreadsheet pulled up here, but I think the Cosmic Ashtray is supposed to be some kind of like depression or bowl-shaped feature. Hair squash. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go this way towards hair squash. It's actually possible that this is a new route actually I'm looking at too. There's some overlapping routes, I think. So now I gotta be careful because I was attributing the 3 out of 10 to the whole thing, but maybe it's this section of road that's gonna be the 3 out of 10. So I think we're looking for some kind of sandstone bowl-shaped depression or something like that, named the Cosmic Ashtray. Probably a colorful feature, I'm gonna guess. And maybe there's a good viewpoint up there we can hit on the way back or something, but I'm gonna make a beeline. I don't see any sign of any Cosmic Ashtray. Okay, so here we go, getting a little steep sections here, some falling rock debris. If it makes you happy, I'll give you a 3 out of 10. I think there's just a short walk up to something here that we'll do. What does this say? Caution, deep sand. Well, no doubt. I guess we'll, what am I doing here? I think there's a trail that goes up to the left, a foot trail, and Amy marked it on her map. So I'm gonna just back up. I don't think there's any reason to go straight ahead to do the Cosmic Ashtray. I think we're right there. It's like an overlook or something. So we'll find a nice spot to pull over here, I guess, and then we'll out of the way. 4x4 required beyond this point. So they're saying that you didn't need 4-wheel drive, I guess, here, but I'm gonna review maps and see what we got going on. I'm deciding to head off on foot from here. There's a sign that warns about deep sand and needing 4-wheel drive, but I don't think I have no problem driving through it. There's really just no point because I think the place where I need to turn, if I'm right, on foot is up here. These are my footprints, by the way. I was scouting out where a GPS, where Amy's point is pointing me. Probably should have got my hiking boots on for this. I'm gonna have sand in my shoes now, but whatever. Who cares? Thankfully, this whole one may have been a little underestimated in terms of time and difficulty. But we're here now, so I gotta finish this scavenger hunt, and I'm afraid maybe we're not gonna find it. I think I know where, according to Amy's pin, it's back in here somewhere. And there's a wash that shows up on the map that I don't think is meant for motor vehicles. I'm assuming it's meant for foot traffic. So if it's not back in there, I don't know where it is. And I don't have my drone today to help, which stinks, because this is where I really could have used that. There's a big pull-out area here in the sand, right down from where I am. I'm right around the corner there. So I'm guessing people park here, it's my hope. And then there's this wash. And on Onyx maps, there's a dotted line. So the route goes straight. The Onyx route ends right up there, not far. So we're pretty much at the end. And then Amy's pin is somewhere here. And the description is like a sandstone hole filled with like red sand or something like that. I see like what could be a depression right there, and that's kind of where I'd expect it. So as long as it's there, actually, Amy, I would say your directions are okay. The main issue I would have is, you know, if I want to do like the slot canyons today, and I end up spending time meant for that on something like this, and on top of it, we can't find what we're looking for, And that just kind of stinks. Whew. All right. I don't know if that comes out, but that blue pin is where I need to go. I'm here. I don't even know where the trail goes. I think the trail is the wash, but it ends up here. So we'll walk over here. But your pin makes me think it's in the topographic map. Is it's on top of that? And maybe over that. So, really cool sandstone formations out here though, so it's all not for naught. It probably just wasn't worth a time investment, so you've learned a lesson from us. I don't know. I'm not even halfway there. I'm probably like 1/3 of the way to the thing, so very likely it's not even in here, it's probably up and over and somewhere on the other side, somewhere where the road don't go. Unless this is it here, this depression, which if that's it, then take it off the map because it's not worth naming it anything. It's lame. But I don't think that's it. I don't know what it looks like though. Now I'm frustrated because it's like, do I keep going? And then now I'm worried about, like, I just don't know enough about this terrain or anything now. And I think it's just a good example. I'll take some of the blame. I should have. Don't have a lot of time, so that's why I was asking Amy to help. I could have at least drew the line and figured it out. I'll go back to the car and do that. And then we'll figure it out. And then I guess maybe we'll just chalk it up to a lesson learned on this episode. Normally I do the planning, so I'm not knocking Amy and saying, oh, Amy sucks. I think I might see fossils here. Amy sucks at planning. It's not what I'm trying to say is she doesn't do this as much. So I guess all these little intricacies are good things to learn. Because it's not just where the road goes, it's very much what you gotta do after you're off the road too. At first I thought all these things may have been more oyster shells, like some kind of fossils, but I don't know if those are. They're interesting, I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're fossils though. Anybody know? Any air scientists out there? Well, Cosmic Ashtray, if you're out there somewhere, hopefully you're worth seeing. If you're not worth seeing, take the dang thing off the map. But I don't have time today, unfortunately. That's my issue. I'm just gonna film a little bit of the sandstone at least. I mean, it's pretty. I like the shapes in it and the lines and stuff, but I don't think those were fossils, by the way, because those markings are everywhere. There's like a cosmic pool of water down here. Is that the Cosmic Ashtray? This might be a good thing to do if the campground I want to seek out is worth its salt. This might be a good activity to do off of that. And that's probably going to be our next stop, is that area, because there's supposed to be some cool geology there. And that one's right off the road, I know. I'm back in the truck now, and now I'm studying the topographic map and doing the stuff I would normally do when I plan. And it's about a mile, like, off that way. And it looks like you can follow that wash, but I'm kind of confused about where the pinpoint is, because the map point it's almost like the wash ended in that area, but then it must still kind of go in between those two big pieces of sandstone. But where the hole is, or at least where the pinpoint is, it's not like down in the lower elevation like I thought it would be. She has it like halfway up the mountain somewhere. I don't know. I'm confused, and I don't think it's worth wasting more time, because very likely it may not be exactly where it is. And I think I want to keep this in the video. I'm not trying to scold Amy. I want to show you, a little bit behind the scenes on the Cactus Atlas, and how these things can be challenging, and being prepared is 100% the name of the game. Slim's really, I didn't have any issues coming down this, but now I got some slippage. So you see what I'm saying? It's like very likely this right here is gonna make it so I can't make the spooky and peekaboo canyon videos, because I have to now, probably gonna waste about close to 2 hours on this section. And then I still have another video to finish up later this afternoon. So I have to like jam pack, you know, itineraries together on the Cactus Atlas, because I'm getting these things done in relatively short amount of time. So you've seen my nutso itineraries of the past that I've revealed to you, where I plan to the minute, I like every stop. And if I'm to be successful, the only times I've been successful and come home with a full bounty is when I have created an itinerary, I've planned it, I've studied it deeply, and then I wake up on time and I execute everything exactly as planned. If I do all of that, I come home fully successful. But the danger too is you have one rain delay, you have one thing that throws it off, and that's pretty much it for me. It usually means we lose a video, which is usually a week lost in terms of programming schedule, which is costly for us. I've made it back onto Hole in the Rock Road and kind of showing the views here back out on these grasslands. This is that road I took to Harris Wash. It says it's 6 miles. Probably is about right, I guess. Coming back up, I made good time. I'd say probably took me closer to half an hour, I guess, just focusing on driving and nothing else. So I'd say overall, the drive down, the drive up, as well as the scout walking down the road, coming back, trying to scale some of that sandstone, figure it out. It cost about an hour and a half. That's the cost of that one. And we didn't have anything to show for it. Whether the next stop is good or not, I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is it's verifiably there, and it's right off the main road, and it has the type of name that gives me hope that it has some cool rock features, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So a few miles down the road and we should be good. At the very least, you're getting to see a lot of the roads of the area, so I'm hoping there's value in that alone. So this next thing is called the Devil's Garden. See, I always laugh about the devil's this, the devil's that. See, I'm telling you, how many Devil's Gardens are there? I think they have one at Arches also. And you got this guy in a passenger vehicle. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm not really sure what to expect. Okay, I was expecting rocks and hoodoos or something. And I'm looking at this terrain, I'm like, there's none of the sort down here. But I think I found it, so. And it's okay, it's pretty cool. Not the best thing I've ever seen, but maybe there's more that I can't see. There's some hoodoos. We've been seeing lots of hoodoos on our journeys too. And I guess I see the campground. It's just kind of spread out about here, so it's not really a campground to drive through, I guess. I was trying to think of its camp view work today, and it doesn't look like it. But it's good for us to scout it out here on the Cactus Atlas to see if it's worth it. So here's the road we just came down. See a vault toilet over there. Yeah, the Devil's Garden, presumably named after all these interesting hoodoos. I'll take a quick look at some of these campsites, because I was thinking of camping here a couple times, you know, to explore the area. And this would be the exact kind of place I'd want to be if I want to go find the Cosmic Ashtray and not have to rush. A very nice little campground, I would say. The weird thing is they took all this time to put in this really big concrete table, beautiful fire ring, but not really any I guess good places for tents, unless you're supposed to set them up on just the grass, I guess. In my mind, I was kind of envisioning more of a sandstony landscape. You got some of that, but it's more of that grasslandy pinyon pine juniper landscape, which is pretty. But I thought we were going to see something a little more dramatic. And a lot of you were saying, well, Glenn, these hoodoos are freaking dramatic. They're weird. And yeah, they are. But when you've seen as many hoodoos as we have, and I'm comparing them against other things we've seen, although the deeper I go in, the more weird stuff is revealed. So maybe I should wait before I say anything, because it is pretty neat. So we were on another adventure, an off-road adventure off pavement, or some of it was. It's doing a thing called looping the fold, and we saw lots of weird formations and things like this on that. I think Twin Rocks in Capitol Reef might be a good example of something like this. I don't know what formations consist of these layers. I'm not that educated. We've read a lot about the different formations, like the Chinle Formation and other things, but to me that looks like some kind of mudstone or sandstone with some other kind of stone capping on top. We see that all the time. The stuff on the bottom seems to erode faster than the stuff on the top, and you get these weird balanced rock type things and hoodoos. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. It's a very pretty area. I think it would be very nice to camp here on one hand, but on the other hand, as many tourists are showing up here, it might suck too. You might have all day if you're trying to relax, people coming and going, so keep that in mind. It's my quick little campground review. And the way I'm talking, I know it sounds like the people that give me a hard time and say, oh, I'm ruining everything and I'm revealing all of these things to people, it's my fault. My retort to that is, dude, it's already done. It's done. Don't blame me. At first I was underwhelmed with this area, and now I'm kind of flipping the other direction and saying maybe it's a little bit better even than I thought it was gonna be as I walk back here and I see all these things, because it is just a weird area for this. Different kind of setting than I'm used to for these kind of things. Usually, like I said, it's in some weird sandstone, more barren looking area. But this is really neat. All these seem to have like 3 layers. The 2 top layers, and sandwiched in between is like mud. Almost like an ice cream sandwich of some sort. I always think of desserts when I see these types of things. Like layered desserts, like a Viennetta. Here's a really good look at the difference between the 2 types of layers we see here. This stuff, just hard as a rock. Thought it was like gonna be muddy or something, but hard, sandstone, I guess. And this rock here on top, which I presume is harder than the stuff on the bottom, the way it looks like it's eroding away. But yeah, you get to see them one right next to each other, which is kind of cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of a playground, I would say. Little areas you can hide, play some hide and seek in here. Kind of sandy, but a little window, oh, actually a little doorway here to squeeze through. How fun. Kind of enjoying this now. I like little spots like that and balanced rocks like that. It'd be kind of fun to see if you were safe after a heavy rain, to stand up here, hopefully safely out of harm's way, and watch rushing waters erode the landscape here. Now that there's cool. I would call that an arch, but geologically speaking, is it really an arch? Here's why I'm wondering. Are they 2 different types of materials? Is it the same type of erosion that we've seen, where this isn't one contiguous thing? And is an arch an arch if it's made of the same material, or can you have an arch made of 2 different types of materials? I don't even know if that really is 2 different types of materials, but geologically speaking, can you consider this an arch? arch or not, it's a needle that needs to be threaded, as I like to say. So I'm gonna thread this needle, which to the uninitiated just means I'm gonna walk through it. If I can, it might be easier said than done to thread this needle. There's not a perfectly clear trail, but we got it, there we go. Threading that needle right now. That's a really interesting arch formation also. It's like goo, dried goo that it was like stretching out like mucus and then it's just froze in time. Nasty way to think about it, but it kind of looks like that. I'm gonna thread this needle too. I don't know how many needles there are to thread here, but at least that's 2. I'm almost like a little lost in here now. I've lost my way. I'm just following the voices back to the parking lot. Yeah, coming back out to this edge, I'm recognizing some of those. I actually did kind of a little bit of a loop. There's a trail at times out here, and I've been following the trail at times, and it's worked well. Pretty much did a loop out of it in a counterclockwise direction. That's how I would describe what I did. Okay, the Devil's Garden campground in the Devil's Garden, really cool area. Campground is, I've seen better. I think what they need to do here to make me a buyer is clear out a little area to put a tent. Like basically, yes, I could throw it on top of that grass. See lots of holes in that grass though. Usually that means there's rats and mice and snakes that eat those things, so not a huge fan of just throwing on top of things like that, but whatever. It does have a vault toilet, so that's a plus. But we're gonna head on back out to the road and I'll tell you what's up next. Whoa! Jeez, they're like really weird holes in this road you can't even see. The heck? Perhaps the thing that I was looking to see the most when I was perusing the little spreadsheet Amy gave me are like a collection of about 300 dinosaur footprints somewhere. That it would be technically our next stop. We got a ways to go, but it's not like a touristy stop. It's down a spur, and just like with the Cosmic Ashtray, her pin is somewhere way off the road. I measured it. It's probably pushing 1 mile walk one way. Doesn't seem like there's any trail, so we're not doing it. So we learned our lesson. That's not good enough research to waste time on that. As much as I'd love to see it. If you know dinosaur tracks also, sometimes they could be kind of hard. They don't jump out at you all the time. You gotta look carefully if you're not trained on that. My plan was to go all the way to the hole in a rock at the very end to see the Mormon history, hopefully. And now I'm studying on that, and I've got questions. I've got uncertainties about what happens down there. How much of it do I have to hike on foot? I saw a trailhead. I have no idea. I've got no information right now. Nor do I have time to figure it out is the big thing. So, man. So then I started thinking, God, this is so loud. Now I started thinking, maybe I just cut it in half. Maybe I add peekaboo and spooky to this, and now I got another problem, which is the ZV-1 camera, and it's overheating, and I'm gonna be directly in the sun for a lot of that, and I can't film for more than a minute before the thing shuts off because it says it's overheating. So either the thing's slightly defective or something, I don't know. But there's no way in hell I can make a video like that. So that's pretty much getting eliminated now because of lack of time and that freaking camera.
And I don't know much about the other stuff. It's called the Batty Caves, and it's apparently a couple man-made caves. I don't know what that means. Like, what kind of cave? Is it like deep and dark, or just a little alcove and some rocks? But I'm choosing it because it insinuates maybe a cool, and my camera will work for like 3 minutes instead of 1. I mean, that's my thinking right now. Really frustrating day though. Anyway, this is K9 300 is the name of this. According to Amy's work in the Onyx route, we have 2 miles to go down a 2 out of 10 dirt road. So probably up against these cliffs is what I'm thinking. And then there's something that's, her pin's right on top of the route, like literally on the road at the very end. So there's supposed to be something called the Batty, B-A-T-T-Y Caves. So I'm coming up on where the pin is. So I want to be clear, the pin on the map says Batty Pass Caves. So my expectation is that's where the freaking caves are. But I think I might see what's going to actually happen. And I'm going to guess the caves are going to be a couple miles further than where the pin is. And that's probably where you actually have to hike from. And then the question is, I don't even know anymore. Let's not judge until I get to where the pin is though. All right, yeah, this part's a little rough. So, but that ain't no 2 miles of walking. If the pin's right here, the pin is right up here. Huh. In fact, I'm even thinking this is where I'm supposed to park. This is the end of the route. According to Onyx, the end of the Batty Pass Caves route. I see like rocks and stuff here where there could be a cave, so it's feasible, but I'm skeptical because I see a trail or something going way past here. So, and I've got no intel on it. I don't know, like it's not on Onyx. I don't know the difficulty. The road's gotten really bad all of a sudden. So let's see what we see. All right, here's where I am, and we have of course, the obligatory shot up, rusted out vehicle. You must shoot at that. It is asking for it. It's taunting you, saying, "You suck, shoot me." That's why they're all have holes like that. I kind of parked Slim in a weird spot, didn't I? You're not gonna tip over there, friend, are you? I don't have a good feeling about this. Hoping the caves are here. Whatever they are. I probably only have about 30 seconds left on this camera before it dies. Maybe I did find it. I think I did find something here. Look at that. Oh yeah. Batty Pass Caves. What the heck was this? So basically all I can tell you is the information on Amy's spreadsheet is that 2 guys in the 1950s and 60s built this. For what purpose, I don't know. Clearly there's some kind of mechanical thing here. I have no idea what that is though, other than there is a workbench here. So we actually found something though, that's cool. And it is nice and cool in here. But I know there was caves plural. Oh, look at that. This is kind of cool. What in the heck were these guys doing here? Like another work area, I take it. I mean, were they, my guess is mining or something in this area. And I'm guessing, or maybe they were using this as a residence, I bet. That might make more sense, actually. I don't know. But that's kind of cool. You got the door still there. Very clever, very clever. You could tell looks like they carved out little shelves and things to set things in maybe in here too. So this I'm digging. This is kind of cool. Just a random history that I don't know anything about, but not your usual. Somebody put a rug here. You know, if I was camping out here, I don't know if you could spend the night up here. Usually I wouldn't want to stay in places like this thinking there's creepy crawlies in there and bad things, but honestly, this thing's pretty sealed shut. I don't see any way anything can get in other than through the front door in here. But so I might even consider hanging out in here. This would be good like for preppers to know about. This might be a good survival situation when the zombie apocalypse happens. This would be pretty defensible, I think. I like it. And you can tell people probably are dispersed camping up here too at the Batty Pass Caves. And here's another one. This looks bigger, like a garage where you could fit like a vehicle. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Are these the leftovers of the people that lived here? I imagine some of it is. Some pieces of heavy equipment here, so I'm guessing they were mining or something up here. Looks like beds. And then like plenty of workbench. Well, I'm sure Amy will flash up on the screen if it's better known what they were doing up here. I'm gonna say the cactus. The Cactus Atlas was here. What's today's date? It's 7/31/24. Boom. So come find it if you can. You know, with all this, the workbench table, this is an interesting thing. I don't know if anybody knows what this machine is. They had to like build a concrete foundation for this. See a lot of that stuff in mining operations. So is this some kind of thing where you would put rocks in or something to process stuff? Seems like a lot of effort for not to just do it for fun, you know? I'm not a fan of seeing the rat poo though, and stuff like that and touching that, because I know there's the hantavirus stuff. You see warnings about that in a lot of old like cabins and stuff out in the middle of nowhere. You know, so there's more of that foundation there. And over here you can tell, I mean, I see lots of debris and rat poop. See all that rat poop? Covered in rat poop. So I think the nest, something's living right over there. Anyway, there you have it, the Batty Pass Caves. How cool was that? Should probably swing around all the way to the end just as if to be a completionist here and make sure we didn't miss anything else. This one brightened my mood a little bit though. I needed one find. I did. Like I said, my worry is that there's a misinterpretation, and the reality was when they said, oh, you can hike to it, you know, but the road gets rough. You know, it doesn't make sense because the road coming in here wasn't rough, really, in my opinion. I thought the road coming in here, probably except for the very end, most vehicles can get up here no problem. So that's what's throwing me off, is who's saying that and why. But if you park over across at the main road at Hole in the Rock, yeah, you probably have a good 2-mile walk. I think it was like 2 miles in, probably 2 miles out, something like that. So yeah, this is a weird one, an interesting one, and I just wish I knew its function now, or why they were out here, but would have been an interesting life to live out here. And you can see some of these old presumably mining roads of some sort. There's probably cool stuff out there to find, but very rugged terrain I wanted to show you. Anyway, Batty Pass Caves, that was pretty cool. So now the decision, I guess, to be made is, do I turn left to go back to 12, or do I turn right to go to the Hole in the Rock area, flying blind out here with no information and really not knowing Do I just drive to the end and there's something to see like right there, take a few pictures and turn around? And was it even worth it? It sounds like it's worth it based on the type of history that it is. It's right up my alley. And it sounds pretty impressive what they did. But I'm flying blind, so it's like, is it worth taking the risk, or do I turn around and go seek out some things that I think would be more sure things that we know we can accomplish? So kind of erring towards that, unfortunately, although I'm just really bummed. This is one of the things I was looking forward to the most on my trip, and it's actually turning out to be one of the most frustrating things on the trip. That's all right. Anyway, I'm heading back towards Capitol Reef, which is where I've been camping. So now you might understand a little bit better if you think that I'm frustrated. I am, because I drove over an hour to get all the way over here. I had to backtrack because I didn't have time to do this earlier. And then I would say the other thing is the road itself. It's hard to say it's not pretty at all, because I love pinyon juniper country. It's beautiful, one of my favorite things, but it's something I see all the time. So the landscape itself wasn't the most unique, I should say. I was expecting a little bit more bizarre, like more of what the Devil's Playground was, but like seeing it off the road. So the drive itself didn't feel that interesting, and nor did the stops. I thought the Devil's Playground was okay, but I felt like I had to rush it with the camera overheating literally every 30 seconds. And then, yeah, I don't know. And the Batty Caves are pretty cool, interesting, not something you see every day, but then again, not maybe the most mind-blowing thing. So, and I was supposed to do the slot canyons like as a separate video, but you could now, based on the time, keep in mind I got an hour to go back, right? I haven't eaten lunch. I still have to finish a video that I started yesterday. It's my last day there, which includes another hike. So when you start to put all these things together, maybe you see how tightly planned things are time-wise, and why it's just like, this is kind of a disappointment to me as I drove all the way out here. And I think if I had a better plan and I better understood each part better, I could have more wisely chosen what I do, or if I even should have gone to the end, which part of me is like, I probably should have just gone and done it all the way here. But then it's like, is it worth it? Or the thing I'm going to do this afternoon is a sure thing that's been planned and studied on. So it's all that stuff. Well, folks, I'm here kind of at Fruta Campground, at the place that I've been coming at to clear my mind every day for the last few days. To end this one, I'm not sure how this one will come out. It was a full day. You got to see a full day in bits and pieces from me. So maybe it'll be interesting for that. Maybe it's not a bad video. I don't know. Amy will probably do her magic. But anyway, want to say thank you for watching again, and we'll be back next week with another video. See you then.